You ladies. I've been stalking you all this week, so I apologize.
Oh, great.
Okay. But pleasure to be here all with you guys. So I figured, do we want to go ahead and introduce ourselves first? Sarah, you can go first.
So I'm Sarah Bauman. I have been in the life cycle and retention space for a little under 7 years. Is this on? Are you listening? Yeah. Okay. I have worked across a lot of industries, bounced around quite a bit, which has been fun. I worked with a few brands locally. I worked with Purple Mattress, Bite Clear Aligners. We had headquarters here. And then most recently, Dime Beauty. Now I'm consulting for a handful of brands, and I focus mostly on just the post-purchase journey and retention. I like to look at the customer experience from a holistic view and then come up with strategy and execution based on that.
Awesome. I'm Al. I've been in the retention space for a few years now as well, currently at a purifier company called Puro Air. I run all things retention, email, SMS, loyalty, subscriptions, push notifications, you name it, I do it. Have previously also worked with Matt on a few different brands, also was at Dime Beauty. And love this space and excited to chat with you guys today.
Hi, my name's Beth Butler. I'm currently with Just Ingredients, and I actually haven't spent time in like the retention area. My expertise is customer experience, customer service. I'm the director there with Just Ingredients now. I spent nearly 20 years at JetBlue. No subscription experience there. But I mean, there's a lot that we do on our team to help with, churn and customer retention. So.
Amazing. Well, I wanted to kick it off. I have a couple questions for each of you individually, but I thought it'd be good to kind of get a group discussion going. First question I have is, what does it look like when retention is a company priority versus just another marketing initiative? Al or Beth?
Oh, I mean, I'll take that. I definitely see like our subscription orders take a huge priority in the company. Even just with the warehouse, they ship out first, so they get a priority shipping. We just launched a new loyalty program. A subscription order earns more loyalty points than a regular one-time order. Even with like inventory, we hold back inventory from the website so that we can fulfill subscription orders. So they definitely are like our priority in the company.
And I'm so interested with you being on here, right, with more of the CX background.
Yeah.
Like, do you see, or like, can you share a little bit, like, is there ever like a lot of friction between retention and CX when you're thinking from like that perspective of the company initiative?
Yeah,
Yeah, like I don't mean to put you on the spot, but like it could be looked at so differently.
People are in the room.
I know. I thought about coming in when Matt asked me to do this because we work with Matt. Our recent subscription changeover has been super smooth. I think in large thanks to Matt. I was nervous about maybe things I should or shouldn't share, so I was nervous about that. But
get juicy.
Tell them you're in the Slack with us. Why are you in the Slack with us?
I'm in the Slack because I'm the voice of the customer, and there are you talk today a lot about like I think there are ways to offer subscriptions that aren't ethical, and I think there was a time when our subscriptions were more kind of like just offered without people knowing they were given that option. I wasn't okay with that. Our customers definitely weren't okay with that. I think we've come a long way there. Making sure that notifications are sent. We do text and emails. There's been times when maybe there was an issue and emails weren't going out. So yeah, I definitely think I fight for the customer more with some of that.
I love that. And Al, I was interested, like looking at your background, it was so cool. Like you have so much experience in retention, working with different brands. Like what's your perspective on so many different brands? Obviously, Pure Air might be different than other brands you've worked with, like retention versus CX. Is it a heavyweight battle?
I think historically it's probably been a battle because brands just didn't understand what retention was. I think historically people thought retention was email, SMS, and that's it. But what I found, especially at Puro Air, when the whole company aligns on retention, you just work better together. In fact, our CS team has their own retention metrics that they get rewarded for if it improves. And at the end of the day, if retention is up, acquisition can spend more because we have more money to spend. If we are focusing on that customer experience and retaining customers, and our CS team has less to worry about because they're not getting frustrated customers. So really, when you think of it from like a holistic company-wide initiative, everything aligns a little bit better.
Retention makes the world go round. I mean,
It does.
Well, and I'll just add to that really quick. I think the mindset shift from being more reactive to churn and changing more to like a company-wide initiative, it shifts your mindset more into building an experience that people consistently want to come back to.
Okay, now I was going to wait for this question to the end, but I'm too excited and my adrenaline's flowing. So this was initially geared for you, Beth, but I need all your perspectives because I'm sure everyone's got one. You've been through, I believe, 3 subscription migrations. Talk to us about that, good, the bad, the ugly, how you made it successful.
I wasn't here for the first 2, but I've heard horror stories. So, I mean, I think one of them happened and CX wasn't even really involved in it at all. I don't know. I can't speak to it because it was before my time. I do know that when we switched over last summer, it's been super smooth. Our partner now is amazing. And again, I think Matt did a lot to help with that transition. I mean, it's definitely a company-wide effort. But yeah.
Do you see internally, right? Obviously there's an impact, but how do you balance that impact versus also the customer facing impact and potentially switching to another platform and how that can be very different for the customer?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to do some education for the customer on how the new tool is going to work. We had a lot of how-tos and some videos prepared for them on how to manage it. I mean, that's obviously important so there's not the frustration when they're, online managing it.
And how about for you, Al? I'm sure you've had your experience with migrations.
Yeah, I would say a migration is like getting a divorce. It's kind of messy. You can view the customers as your children and you're trying to do it behind the scenes. I try not to do migrations anymore. I've learned my lessons. So when I pick a partner, I'm 100% sure, okay, you feel good about this. Talk to other brands about their experience because migrations are no joke. You think it's all in the back end, but it really does affect the customer. They do notice the smallest things. And so it's like a messy divorce. So I try not to do it anymore.
I like that analogy. I've never heard that. I'm using that from now on. Sarah, I'm sure you've had your fair share of experience with migrations.
Not with subscriptions, actually. I've been blessed in that way. I have done several other platform migrations, and they are a beast. So, yeah, I'm hopefully not going to come across that anytime soon.
We just migrated our loyalty this week.
Yeah. What loyalty program?
We actually took our loyalty to Skio, who's doing our subscriptions. They were doing such a bang-up job with subscriptions that we moved that over too.
I was going to say, we actually did that too, but with free charge. We moved it in-house with free charge now. So it seems like that might be a new trend.
And is there a consensus you guys have one, I mean, I don't think there's any vendors in here, but one subscription platform over the other?
I mean, I've worked with at least 3 different subscription platforms and some, they all have their pros and cons. right now we're with Recharge, but I've worked with brands on Skio, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about them. I won't name drop anyone else, but yeah, I think it a lot of the focus is on subscription. So these platforms have really changed the game, even in like the last year, I would say. Recharge specifically, like they kind of have blown us away at Pure Air with what they've been able to do for us and for our customers. And this new chapter with loyalty and credits in Portal is, I think, going to be a game changer. So not one right answer, but excited to see all of these all of these platforms and what they're doing for subscriptions.
Yeah, I love that. How about you, Sarah?
I think it really depends on what your needs are. Like with any platform, you kind of have to evaluate what experience you want out of it. Most of my experience is in Recharge, and I have really loved it. So,
I mean, Recharge, they do on market. So now, Sarah, I have this one for you because I have so much experience working with high AOV brands, low AOV brands, so different in terms of the purchase cycle, the customer. So your experience, Purple, Bite, Dime Beauty, mattress, I mean, skincare, totally different. How does the retention playbook, like, how do you see that change on the purchase cycle versus or how is it different? Like, it's got to be so different for the different purchase cycles.
yeah, for sure. It changes, but it also doesn't. Your ultimate goal, like the core principles of retention, really do stay the same. It's more of your approach and the cadence of how you market to these people. At Purple, it's a really long purchase cycle. I mean, you purchase mattresses every 8 to 10 years, and of course, there's other supporting products that they purchase periodically, and you do things with that. But it's more about brand affinity and staying relevant so that you can do referrals and eventually a repeat purchase. By clear liners, it's the entire experience. You're in treatment for a long time, so you want to stay engaged, send reminders, that kind of thing. And then with Dime, it was about retention or subscription and loyalty because it's about habitually involving your product into the daily routine. So, the strategy changes, but ultimately you're just trying to provide value and make the customer's life easier. So, if you keep those in mind, top of mind, then it all kind of flows to it.
Do you see a similar playbook across the board, Al, or depending on the product? And
Yeah, I would say something similar to Sarah. The purchase cycle could vary. At Pure Air, we sell purifiers and then filter replacements for the purifier. The purifier runs 24/7, so usage is always there, which is a pro for us. But maybe in skincare or in supplements, it's not always the case because you could buy a cleanser or a supplement and you leave it on your counter and never touch it again. So when that subscription reminder comes, you're like, wait, I don't need this because I haven't been using it. But with a purifier, the second you turn it on, it's running 24/7. You'll see that usage on the filter. And so it's a little bit easier for us to kind of get that second, third purchase because the usage is there. But I would say across the board, it's pretty similar.
And how about you, Beth? Like, I know it's more retention, but given you play almost such an interesting role in being aligned with retention, do you have any perspective there?
Retention's huge. We focus a lot on education. I mean, huge. Just making sure customers know the difference with our products and how it helps. Our founder is big on educating people about health and their bodies. So that's a big part of what our team does.
And does anybody in your company outside of retention own a retention metric?
Anyone outside our company?
Or in your company outside of retention? Like, does the CX have impact on retention goals and vice versa?
Not officially.
Not officially.
Yeah.
I would say our CST does because our clients actually are a little bit older. So not everyone is going through the portal. And so a lot of them actually will call in to cancel. And our CS team has like their own retention metrics or benchmarks that we want them to fall into as a way to incentivize them to keep the customer and also like company goals to keep the customers. So I think that's been super helpful for us and beneficial to me on the retention team.
And Sarah, do you have any input there?
Well, I think CX teams always kind of have retention in the back of their minds. You want to deliver the best customer experience, and if they have a good experience, they're going to stick around. So I think in that way, it probably
Yeah.
is helpful.
I mean, I think with us, it's really more about education and about the customer. And so, I mean, I know there are retention goals in the company, but our team is less about the numbers and more about the customer. So,
Yeah. So I wanted to take a different pivot here. And I wanted to ask you guys more or less like a personal question. And Beth, I'm looking at you, so you're going to go first. What's the hardest professional transition that you ever endured? And how did you overcome it?
I've worked for major companies that were publicly traded. This is my first founder. It was a transition. When I started, there really wasn't even a customer service department. It was friends and neighbors that helped out and answered emails. So just seeing the company grow over the last 2 years has been really exciting. Bootstrap comes to mind. We've grown a ton, and it's been fun, but nothing I've ever experienced. Like I said, publicly traded companies with board of directors, like that's been my world. So this has been new, but super exciting.
And that's interesting, just to piggyback off that, like, because I've seen both sides as well. Like, what's the biggest difference that you see in a bootstrapped, kind of homegrown, family-grown versus publicly traded companies, bureaucracy, goals, quarterly earnings, et cetera?
Yeah, I don't know how much I want to answer. um,
We can come back. We can
Okay,
come back.
yeah, I
That's
don't-
okay. Al, how about you? Biggest professional transition that you ever endured, and how did you overcome it?
Honestly, I think I blocked most of it out at this point. But I would say most recently in my current role, like I used to be I would oversee a lot of things and had a team underneath me that would execute and implement. And my current team, we're a very small team. So I'm actually the one executing and implementing everything. I think initially it was kind of an interesting transition because I had to kind of like remember how to do things. But a year and a half later, I actually love it because it's the people in the weeds who actually know what's going on and can actually speak to what's working, what's not, bugs, roadblocks, and things like that. So if you would have told me a year and a half ago that this transition would have happened, and initially, if I'm being honest, kind of felt like I was going backwards, you know, it was anything but backwards. It was more fueling and reminded me why I'm in this space and why I love it, and just kind of reintroduced me all over again to what I'm doing. And so I would say that.
Sarah, I feel like this is pretty interesting timing for a question.
Yeah. Well, moving around different industries obviously is a little bit of a shock at first because the customer journey is so drastically different. In terms of strategy, I don't feel like anyone really chooses retention. You like kind of fall into it. Started at Purple working under some awesome people. I learned a lot. And then I transitioned over to Fight, which was so different already. But then the team disintegrated, I guess. And it was just me for a long time. And within that period, we did so many platform migrations that I spoke to earlier. It was a hot mess for a long time, but got thrown into the deep end and either sink or swim. So learned a lot very quickly and did a lot of the execution strategy. And then moved over to Dime, where again a very lean team moved very quickly. There was a lot more intricate things. The customer lifecycle is a lot quicker. And being able to adapt to that was also very different. I actually, so if anyone has a full-time gig, I'm in between things right now. Got laid off a few weeks ago. So transitioning more into like bringing more brands in and talking to people and networking, that has definitely been a little bit of a transition as well. And this is outside of my comfort zone. This is the first panel that I've done. So yeah, this is definitely a career transition for me.
Love it. Growth. Matt, how are we doing on time? Good. So I wanted to leave some room open for Q&A, but before that, any last final thoughts that any of you guys want to share? Sarah, I know you have a lot going on and a lot of value to provide to your next opportunity. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to share.
Yeah, I think when you get your company to shift their mindset, I kind of brought this up earlier. If you can get everyone on the same page and can shift their mindset into a retention focused strategy, I think it just kind of flows from that. If you get all of your pieces in order, to Matt's point earlier in his presentation, if you get your onboarding flows in a good spot and you're educating the customer correctly, it all kind of flows together and you can iterate and improve from there. So that's what I like to focus on.
Al, how about you?
Yeah, this is probably niche and only works if you have like a subscription framework that's like a product and a refill. But we do a lifetime warranty for our customers if they have a subscription. And as long as the subscription is active, their lifetime warranty is active for the device, meaning if it stops working, if it breaks, we'll replace it for them for free. And prior to Puro Air, I hadn't seen that often, and it's worked pretty well for us. Like we have it in the portal, we have it on PDPs. We use it as a retention mechanism when they call to cancel. Like, hey, if you cancel, you also forfeit your lifetime warranty. And so something to kind of marinate, rather, for some of you that may have like a device and filter. Unless it's an air purifier, don't do it. We took it already. But anything else, try it out.
Love it. How about you, Beth?
Pick a good company to work with. I can't say enough. Skio's been a really great partner with us, figuring out retention and different things. So, yeah.
Love it. Can we get a round of applause for these lovely ladies, please? Okay, so Q&A. There's got to be some juicy questions here. What was your name?
David.
David.
We get to talk on AI for subscriptions later, so I have a question for the panel related to that. But I think, Al, you might have answered my first question, which is, as a subscription to something that's refill, like air filters, what's something that you've done or you see in your tenure with Puro that was, moved the needle a lot? I think you just answered it with the lifetime warranty.
It's huge.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, how does that come up? Like, how does that become tested and released into your marketing at Puro?
So all of our customers get a 2-year warranty. But we found that customers, even like after the 2 years, there wasn't really a way to like extend the warranty. And so everything we do, we're like, what can we do to benefit subscribers first? In fact, the reason we brought loyalty into our subscription platform was because we want to make it more seamless for customers to redeem credits on their next purchases. And we also will reward more credits on a subscription order versus a one-time purchase, everything to really benefit that subscription. And so the lifetime warranty was kind of a no-brainer. We just said, hey, you know what? If you are committed to us and you're going to buy your replacement filters from us, we want to be committed to you. We'll be here past the 2-year warranty, anything you need. And it's worked well. I think when I joined the team, it was really only like on the PDP and maybe like terms and conditions, but I made sure to put that everywhere. Portal, emails, texts, when you get the product, you get like the little insert just reminding them. And so it was one of those things that, started as an idea and like it's only been positive in terms of retention. And so we've kind of kept it.
And now that you say it, it almost sounds like a no-brainer, a lifetime warranty. for a subscriber, is that an upsell from another type of warranty that a non-subscriber doesn't get?
Yeah. So if you're not a subscriber, you just get a 2-year warranty. But if you are a subscriber, you get lifetime warranty. So anything you need, we'll replace it for you. And so it's just, again, our way of committing to the customer since they've shown their loyalty to us as well.
That caught my eye too. I was like, lifetime warranty.
You can do it as long as you don't work for an air purifier company.
So I have a question for the panel if there's time, but
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe we can keep it simple not to use too much time, but I'm curious, as I'm going to be talking about AI later, so much in our teams, whether it's our agency team, where we do consulting, or our software team, where we're developing as quickly as possible. In your companies that you either have been in or in now, is there a team policy and usage of using AI in your company? Yes or no?
I'll answer that real quick because our company actually started an AI Slack channel. Like, what are you using AI for? Because our company is very pro AI. What I've seen in the retention space recently, like I've worked for some really large teams where I've had multiple designers, multiple copywriters, QA, and right now it's just me because AI has taken over a lot of those pieces, which is crazy, but it takes someone who understands what they're doing to be able to utilize AI. And so our team is very much AI. The most recent example I can think of is landing pages and testing out landing pages. Like right now, the ETA to get a landing page design or like a wireframe design built could take weeks, maybe over a month. And when we want to test something, we want to test it now. Mm-hmm. And so our VP of marketing, she's using this new tool that could get you like a landing page in like 5 minutes. And she's like, "Oh, this is so cool." And we started that Slack channel, and everybody is like sharing how they use AI in their daily jobs and responsibilities to save us time and move faster. So we're pro AI over here.
We're slowly pro AI. I think we started. It's come a long way in just a very short amount of time. Our founder, I don't know that was like not super pro AI, mostly because I think the customer base wouldn't be in favor, and she's very led by her followers. But yes, the edict has gone out now that we all are moving more toward AI and how it can impact our roles, and it makes a big difference in a lot of the things that we do. So.
Well, I've always worked on small teams. I think the biggest team I had was at Purple. So yeah, using it to make your job more efficient. Absolutely. I've always tried to use as much AI as possible in the platforms themselves, which has proved very successful as well. So yeah, I think there's a place for it, regardless of what position you're in. If you can use it, absolutely do it.
That's great feedback. Great questions. Any other questions? Got one in the back.
Yeah, so you guys have worked in a lot of different size businesses. It sounds like to me, I'm a small founder-led business, right? I'm curious how you think about structuring teams and what you've seen be effective for structuring a team for both acquisition and retention, what those overlaps look like, what you would recommend to a small founder-sized business.
Sarah, you want to take that first?
Your needs adapt as you grow. Obviously, I mean, you need someone with some expertise to get started because it is such a massive undertaking. And then as you start expanding into some of these other things and get more strategic, maybe you need a little bit more hands-on, like junior level people that you can bring on. That's where I've seen a lot of success with really small teams. We had a couple senior level people, and then you bring on some, and you have that for a while, and then you felt like you were going backwards. But I don't know. I think it probably just depends on what you need done and how quickly you need it done and how much manpower that takes. So, I mean, definitely you want to start with someone with a lot of experience is my opinion.
The only thing I would add is whoever you hire for acquisition and whoever you hire for retention should be best friends. And if they're not, red flags. So just consider that.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, ours started with, our marketing girl, and she's grown a department, and she works really close with Carlin. That's kind of Carlin's baby is marketing, and then has kind of grown out a separate retention arm of the marketing team.
Any other questions?